from coast to coast, from Connecticut to South Carolina to California. 1,000-watt smiles are rare to find, but they're found on the turf when high school sports take center stage. And tonight they take center stage at Stonington High School, where the Stonington High School Bears, the defending state champions, take on the one team that seems to have their number this year, the Fitch High School Falcons. And you're going to have it all live on game day. Casey O'Neill along with the coach, Don Desitels, and we appreciate you, Coach, joining us for what is a rematch of last year's ECC championship game, won in overtime, and a rematch of a Fitch High School win earlier this year in overtime. So the question is, with some injuries, do the Falcons have the magic beans necessary to overcome a hungry Stonington Bear team?
Well, I got to tell you, I think they're in a little bit of trouble. I think the Stonington Bears are raring to go, and you could just tell by even their warm-ups and the way they present themselves. And looking at Fitch right now, they're still stretching, they're just walking, and the Bears are ready to come out. So I think the first 5 to 6, 7 minutes when they start trying to pummel some balls on that freshman keeper for Fitch, this could be interesting.
Well, we appreciate all of you joining us. We should let you know that Game Day is brought to you by the Burns Agency. Like Game Day, the Burns Agency is always local and live. We focus on local community, and you will always get a live person on the phone. So remember, you buy better at Burns, and by Waterford Dental Health. Voted the #1 best dental practice 6 years in a row by the day's Best of the Best Reader's Choice Award. So we're about ready to take action here. And, Fitch coach Jay Wolfrad has done a fabulous job getting this Fitch program back into prominence here in the ECC. But they are without Sebastian Duffy, their leading goal scorer. And more importantly, they are without their goalkeeper, also nicked up. So in the spotlight is a player of virtue, Nathan Virtue. He's a freshman, and he is going to get the trial by fire tonight against a Bears team who is going to be thinking about putting balls on net after a tough overtime loss to these Falcons earlier in the year, snapping a near year-and-a-half winning streak. They had not lost since the playoff loss in the previous year's CIAC playoffs. So Stonington's definitely going to want to amp up the pressure, and the Falcons will see what kind of shape they come out in. And Coach, we talked a little bit off air. We'll talk about it now on. As a coach, injuries are a part of what you have to deal with. Certainly, it's rare to lose your leading goal scorer and your keeper in the same breath. But how do you go about protecting a freshman? What's the style that you need to try to do that?
Well, definitely what you talked about, variables are part of the game. Right now, as a freshman keeper, he's got to be jumpy. He's got to be scared. And basically, you tell that defense that you have is you protect him no matter what. Even if he's going to bring back 5 midfielders, we don't know. But those kids in front of that keeper, their job is to protect him. And we'll see what happens. I think the first couple of balls the freshman can get, if they're easy shots, then he'll get a little bit of confidence. But I got to tell you, if he takes a rocket right off the bar, that's gonna be tough for him.
He's got good size for a freshman. Does Virtue that certainly helps. But right across the field, standing right at midfield, looms number 9, junior star player Sam Montalto, who has the ability to score goals in ways that are rare for high school players. There are kids that just seem to know how to get the ball in the net, and he certainly is one of them. And he is going to have his work cut out for him tonight as well, because I think you're going to see Fitch try to get physical with him, and I think you're going to see Fitch try to really pack the defensive zone. So we'll see what happens. The Falcons are in the lovely white uniforms with the very clear numbers on the back. Stonington, on the other hand, the brown with the gold. Early control by the Falcons. That's Diego Martinez, promising sophomore. And out it goes, and it will be a throw-in, and Aiden Drake will take the throw-in for Fitch. Onto the foot of Petropoulos, and then they'll play it back through the defensive zone. Coming the other way is Roche, and intercepted. Now Stonington will take a possession at the center of the field. Nice through ball. Well, switch into the field's been no good. Intercepted, and early going here. Falcons taking their time, playing the ball through. Coach, talk a little bit about what you see right now from what are the Falcons playing shape-wise?
Definitely defensive. They got the back four. And I'm looking in that midfield. I see three, but it looks like 13. That young man that you talked about, Martinez, seems to be on the midfield, but then he comes up when the ball's on the other side. So if they're playing 5 midfielders, then anybody who's on the weak side is going to go up and become another forward. Right now, it looks like they have one single forward up there waiting for a shot through. I can't see his number.
Canella put the ball in and headed out of bounds by Roach, so we're going to get our first corner kick of the day coming off the foot of the Bears. And so they'll send their personnel out, and Sowen will take the corner, and joined over there is Drew Johnson. And so we'll see what Stonington does here on this set play. Sowen will take the kick. Johnson drops back to the middle. Back post, head ball up close, and there's your first shot.
There you go.
And your first save by the freshman Virtue.
Good for him. Good for him. He actually turned around and found that man. So
good job early on by Virtue holding his line. It was Lindenmeyer who got the head on the ball. Now the ball comes back in, and we're going to get an offsides as Sowen just trickled up a little bit too far, and the Falcons will have a kick and take over with possession. Right back at it, Martinez. And good defense by Stonington. Stonington content to play it back through the defensive line. Tobiasen now through the midfield to Castro, one of the playmakers. He and Canella playing a little. Now up to Castro comes looking for through ball, and instead he'll turn right back around. Very patient, the Bears.
nice.
Falcons doing a nice job of getting possessions back, but really not able to advance much. They're clearly in a defensive set. You can see 6, 7, now 8 players back deep for the Falcons. They are trying desperately to, I think, just to let things settle. Here comes Martinez on the outside, and he pokes it away and out of bounds, and it'll be a throw in. Quickly, the Bears come in the other direction. Oh, a nice little self-pass there, a little touch by Sowen, and he puts it towards the middle, and the Falcons couldn't control and wisely just banged it out of bounds. And so we'll get a throw in on the side.
They brought him in from the other side of the field. He must have a wicked throw, and it's almost going to be like a restart as a kick, I bet you.
Yep, this is Cole DeVoe. He takes all of the throws for Stonington, and it is a set piece. He'll be able to put it on almost right into the 18.
Oh, yeah.
Good long throw, head ball, and nothing there. A settle, a shot. Nice job defensively, and the Falcons look to break out. Ford loses it on the far side. Stonington takes over in the middle. Can Montalto get there before the freshman can? Oh, great job by Virtue, but Montalto, and a beautiful defensive play by Minor of the Falcons, and that saved the goal off of Montalto's foot. So the freshman Virtue came off his line, got to the ball at the same time as Montalto, but couldn't control, and then a beautiful job by the Falcon defense to step up and help their freshman.
Nice.
Well done. That's Petropoulos for the Falcons. Took that one off the side of the head. Johnson. Back through the middle it goes. Pacheco plays it back out, and the Falcons will reset as the Bears will have a throw in. Canella will take the throw for the Bears. Johnson with a little slip. Little trip there, Coach?
Yeah, they can either or. But I guess since he kind of almost went down, they called it.
Well, I mean, if all it takes is to get a whistle is to go down.
There you go.
That would seem to encourage that kind of behavior.
Really? Yeah, you're right.
I think they have a term for that. You're going to get Deep run, Montalto showing speed, touches to himself, left foot, across the middle, and a goal! Beautiful ball from Montalto to Samhain for the first goal of the game. The Bears jump on top 1-0, and there was nothing Virtue could do. That was beautiful soccer. So 33-56 in the first half. The Bears jump on top. Hard to believe we haven't even played 7 minutes yet. Feels like we've been playing a while, and the Bears jump on top. Coach, what did you see there in that goal?
Yeah, well, they basically they look for Billy DeCastro. He sits back a little bit, but they want him to be the captain. But they actually, when Montalto when he went off to the left side, everything pulled, and Virgil couldn't do anything. And he tried to come out, and it was a beautiful set. And of course, he came right on the right side. So even though they're playing 4 in the back, they've got to watch for that guy on that weak side coming across.
Yeah,
that was very nice.
It really was. We talked about a couple of things. One, great players can do damage to any kind of game plans are great. Great players seem to do damage to game plans, but also there are certain fundamentals, and this is where Montalto should get all the credit in the world. He didn't see Samhain, but he knew someone would be weak side far post, so he comes and he says, you know what? I've got to rely on someone being there, and that's the ultimate trust that you get in your teammate.
Because I'm sure if nobody was on that weak side and that came all the way out of bounds, Coach DeCastro might have had something to say about that.
And it's that's where that trust that comes in from playing with guys for years at a time, and you just knowing where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So for the person that doesn't play soccer and they they wonder, how did he make that pass? Well, in soccer, and you can talk a little bit about this. Talk about the principles of spacing and how and sort of knowing where your teammates are going to be.
I think it's all of thinking about the game. If the kids can think the game, so you're thinking, hey, you're on the left side. Let's spread this thing out. If you go on the opposite side, you've got to get that defense to go on the opposite side unless they're playing man to man. It was too easy. I mean, that came right across. He was just sitting right there and he popped it in the net. So that's it. They think the game. They know where certain people are supposed to be, and they delivered.
Samhain will take the kick from about 30 yards out. It's a little longer than that. He pops it and headed out of bounds by the Falcons, so it'll be a far corner kick for for Stonington. Great story about Sam Montalto, which again talks about the IQ that he has in soccer, and I'll talk about it after this corner kick, because anytime there's a corner kick, the Bears have an absolute chance to do something. Short post and headed out nicely. Now the Falcons have to break out, but they can't. So Stonington puts it right back in.
There he is
Weak
again.
side, popped up, and that time Fitch does a better job, and they'll have an opportunity to clear. In the game against Ledyard, the first time we had Ledyard and Stonington, Ledyard was not only marking Montalto, but when he was in the middle of the field, they would put 2 guys on him, and they were beating him up pretty good. And the sports doctor had their early report that in the huddle at halftime, he said, guys, I have 2 guys on me. That means somebody is unmarked. And there's Samhain offsides. He says somebody's unmarked. So you guys got to go to goal. When I get doubled, you got to go to goal. I will find you, and you guys score goals. And I think that's a remarkable attitude for any player, let alone for a high school junior.
Absolutely. That's great for a kid to be able to realize that. The only thing in soccer is you can't have timeouts, so you've got to communicate on the field. I mean, as a coach, sometimes you say, hey, I want a timeout. I'm going to tell you. But if I have a kid like that, that's great.
Yeah,
this kid's open a lot.
Yeah, weak side, Samhain's there all day long.
Yeah.
There's 11's. 11's got to drop back a little bit.
Absolutely.
Little
See,
deeper.
he's got to keep an eye. He should be right on him, I think.
Well, when they're playing this many back, to me, I want to know why they're not marking men up almost specifically.
I understand. Absolutely. In a play like Stonington and with a couple of players down, you've almost got to play a man. You can do your set, but you got to play man to man. You got to know where these numbers are.
Yeah, I mean, they got 6 defenders to their 4 offensive players. Don't play zone and let them find spaces in the zone. Mark up, and you still have 2 extra guys to play. To rove.
Yeah.
That's a nice throw by DeVoe. Flick and a punch out by
nice.
Virtue. Good job by the freshman.
Too many set plays for Virtue. It's really hard because they're compacting right in his face. But that was a nice punch.
And that was if he doesn't get his hand on that, someone's going to get that ball into the back of the net. So that was well done. Fitch has really not had a ball on the Stonington side of things yet.
No.
It's been very, very quiet.
I might be off. I just pick up one thing, though. They don't take needless shots, Stonington. You watch. They're trying to put it back and forth to each other, I think. But I haven't seen any wild shots go over the goal or anything like that.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because we talked about one of my big beliefs about when you have a player of Stonington's caliber, like Montalto or Samhain or those guys. If you get within, you get near the 18, you got to let it fly. You can't always try to make that extra pass. But when you're playing a ground game like Stonington plays, I mean, how many times have you seen the ball go 5 feet in the air from Stonington? Everything's on the ground. They're very content, playing the ball on a string. So if you're doing that, I mean, look at the beautiful,
yeah,
changing
they're
field.
spacing out great. These two guys are interchanging. They really know the game. Coach has done a great job with this team.
Sports Doctors got Coach Jay Wilfred.
Coach, they got a quick goal for 6-7 minutes into the game. Stonington seems to be controlling the pressure and tempo right now. How do you protect your young goalie back there?
Yeah, we got to stop giving the ball away once we get it. They're obviously, like you just said, they're moving the ball really well. They're very quick tonight. I'm sure you can see that as well from everywhere. They're connecting, and we got to weather the storm a little bit right now and do more with it when we have it.
The longer this game stays 1-0, do your kids gain a little more confidence?
They're definitely going to believe, no doubt about it. We beat them last week, and Stonington came out fast and furious then. They hit the crossbar. We countered with a goal 2 minutes later, and we started to believe more and more. So I think if we can, protect this 1-0 and not let it get any further, I think we'll believe, no doubt about it. They're competitors out there.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Sports Doctor, ask him who number 20 is, please. Ask him who number 20 is, please.
Okay.
He's not on my roster.
All right, I got you.
Thank you. I don't mind that going. See, folks, I put that out there because I want you to understand that all the preparation in the world doesn't help when you don't have a kid on a roster. That's my guy. It is. It's my boy. It's my boy, Seamus. He was on he's 15 on my roster. See, he's not 15. He is 20. And off the line comes Virtue, and he'll clean it up for Peter Wappy. How did I not know my boy Seamus out there?
I would have thought you could have spotted him from a mile away.
I know why. The hair doesn't look as prominent without the harsh spotlights of the basketball.
A game day favorite.
It is an absolute game favorite of mine for sure, and a game day favorite as well. Seamus Greaves, and I need him to get the ball more because obviously you know how much I enjoy that. Stonington plays it out now wide. I love the east-west nature. Oh, that's a beautiful little chip in front. And nice job by Virtue. Dahl had put it out in front, and Virtue got a hand on it, but what a beautiful ball by the Bears. So, Coach, what did you think about what Coach Wilfred had to say in terms of, his team not keeping possession of the ball?
Well, he's right. They definitely, we talked about, they have to weather the storm. It's just, this is the first time they've gotten that ball into the 18,
Here's Greaves with a chance. Can't get it.
Come on.
Front. And the Bears have a chance to clear, settle. Greaves was doing good work there, Coach, but now you're going to see a transition change from Stonington.
It's just that the longer you play defense, you get a little tired and stuff, and to make that run, it's tough. But you know what? Hey, Coach knows his players. So, and that was a good run they just made just there.
I think they get the ball under Greaves' foot. I mean, he's got a big kid. He's got the physicality. He's a forward on the basketball team. I mean, this kid who likes to bang. He's not afraid of contact. Coach said he's a little nicked up as well, not playing at 100%. But, he's certainly a tough kid. So right now, Fitch has got some of its best opportunity. There's a ball in for Greaves off of the foot of Diego Martinez. But for not and out of bounds, it'll be Stonington throw. So Lindenmeyer throws it in. Dahl and Lindenmeyer on the right side. I just love how Stonington spaces.
Yeah. See, I see that back line for Fitch, though. They got one Stonington guy there, but they're not coming up to put any pressure on the ball.
Very flat across the back.
Yes. They do call it a flat back four, but you got to be like an accordion with this thing, where the ball is one side, you got to go up.
Yeah, I mean, I think flat is the term because you're playing forward cross, but it's not. You never should be you shouldn't have
No.
that rigidity. Players aren't, playing. The offensive players aren't playing in a direct line, so you probably shouldn't be in a direct line either. There should be
Right.
some,
You need a quarterback to
That's
say, hey, you go up, you stay. I don't know. See, here it comes, 21.
They see him, they don't see him, but they got to know that weak side is there. Instead, it's
Look at
far
this.
post
Nice.
and just out of the range of Lindenmeyer. But yeah, you're right,
Nicely
Coach.
done. Nicely
That weak
done.
side is wide open.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna get our sub into the ball game for the Falcons.
Coach said in the beginning on his beginning of the year, he lost that Giovanni Valentine on the back line. Now maybe he was the kid who solidified everybody where to go, and they didn't find out yet. But
Cardona checks into the ball game for the Falcons. Well, I am certainly not the soccer mind that Coach Wolfrat is, and he knows his players. But the one thing, if I could go down and get in his ear, I would tell whoever's that weak side guy, who right now is
number 11.
Number 11. So that's on Aiden Drake. I'd say Aiden.
Hey.
You got to keep an eye. There's going to be somebody on the other side of you. You can't keep pinching up to the middle. We have enough guys. You've got to mark whoever that weak side guy is on the other side. And that's it. Other than that, I think they've controlled pretty well.
I mean, I can't see right now as they get the ball way down in that area having two forwards up here near the back line because they're not getting the ball. So go down and make a play.
So here's Canella, and he's going to go. Nicely done. I love, it's there. It's a great job. Intercepted. Dahl.
Look at that.
Nice touch. Oh, Montalto had a chance and a clear.
They are very deft right in the middle of the field, just trying to get that little pass in there.
We're getting a big bump on Greaves as Jonathan Clark gave him a little nudge, and so it'll be turnover, Falcons. They're going to send some offensive players in, but even still,
Hey, get everybody up.
they're sending five. I mean, they got five guys.
Look at that. A 7-on-3 over here. So.
I mean, this is it's tough to score like this, and that's just a bad ball.
Yeah. I mean, if everybody's back, start little passing in the middle and move it up. I mean, Stonington does that very well.
I love that Stonington, again, going back to teaching first and second graders how to play soccer. The idea of triangles and just the most simple soccer thing in the world is teaching the idea that at all times you have some space. But just look at watching Stonington. If you just hit freeze at any time, they have got just beautiful positioning at all times.
And they are so wide. They really stretch that field out.
Yes, they're the opposite. Oh, that's a dangerous ball.
Here comes a shot.
Boom! And
okay.
Field goal is up and through, but wrong sport, so that we're going to get a goal kick. Sports Doctor, you down there with Coach Paul DeCastro.
Yeah, Casey, Coach, you guys have dictated play here in the first 20 minutes or so. Kind of feels like you should be up 2 or 3 goals instead of 1.
That would be the plan. Unfortunately, we're not finishing right now, but we're off to a pretty good start. I mean, we've obviously had a lot of possession here. Just got to make, I think, a few better decisions near goal, but we're pretty happy with the start.
Is a game plan to make the freshman goalie feel uncomfortable for Fitch?
I think you could say that.
Yeah.
But our game players really try to get some width here, open them up a little bit, and then penetrate the goal. So that's kind of the goal, is get some width here and then get some balls in the box.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Nice, thank you, Sports Doctor. It's a good ball to the outside. Martinez heads down the left side. Flip to himself and a nice slide tackle. Nice slide tackle out there by Canella, and it'll be a throw-in for the Falcons. Yeah, that's a coach's way of going, oh, yeah, we're going to make the freshman, we're going to make them uncomfortable. In front. There's a whiff right there by the Bears, but comes out of the pack. And I believe is that DeCastro? Yeah, DeCastro, you don't see him. He's one of the most perfect soccer players I've seen as far as decisions. Lindenmeyer's got a chance to get there, and nicely done. Getting there first was Aiden Drake, and it'll be a throw-in. So they'll send DeVoe down to make the throw-in, and he's their set piece. Evidently, they call, whether it's his mom or the fans, like little Coco. I like that. In brown, he looks like a Cocoa Puff. DeVoe with a long throw. Hard, near post. Back out to him. It goes. You can put it right back in. No, he touches. Nice ball, far post,
Oh,
over the freshman, and another opportunity for the Bears. Put right back in, and the freshman was there for the save off of the foot of DeCastro. I'll tell you what, those are tough decisions for anybody. When that ball is floating through the air like now, do I go after it? Is my teammate there for me? Who's on the other side of me? The freshman's done a nice job, I think, so far from a decision-making standpoint.
or how many bodies are going to hit me as soon as I touch the ball?
Yeah, anyone who doesn't realize how physical soccer can be hasn't played goal. Look at all this space right here. All the space in the world for Canella. He could throw one on goal right now.
And, 3 players were rushing number 3, but why? You don't have to.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely, Coach. That's talking. You got to talk.
They're playing defensive-minded. There's no doubt about it. But look at they do a nice cross here and there.
Well, I mean, they are the defending state champions. Hey. They are. There's a reason, and they are the preeminent team in the conference for a reason. This is high-end soccer.
I think, interestingly enough, I'd like to see DeCastro there. I mean, he's a general out there, but he gets up near the 20. I think he should take another crack, and I think Sam should get a ball now and just pop it. They are getting a little bit cute, going back and forth. I can understand what Coach is saying. We're not making good decisions, but.
Oh, that's a nice ball, right? That's a great job.
Look at, they have great skills.
Calm. I mean, I still don't think, other than set pieces around goal, I don't think Stonington's put the ball more than 5 feet in the air.
No.
I mean, everything is on the ground. Everything is one touch. Very little dribbling, which is another sign of a truly great team, right? The ball staying on the ground and passing rather than dribbling.
Yep. I mean, Fitch knows what to do with the ball also. It's just that, that was just a mispass.
Yeah, it's tough when you don't have your best guy, too. I mean, he's a playmaker.
You look at these offensive players, you got 4 of here. You still have 5 whites back here. They really have to push up a little bit more, I think. But I'm not going to go against the game plan because right now, if they go into half 1-0.
Now here's DeCastro calling it out from midfield.
Looking.
He's the general. You got that right. That's
nice.
the right call.
Very nice.
He finds Hune. And we'll have a throw-in on this near side for the Falcons. You're absolutely right. As soon as they got it into Castro's,
he's good.
And then he just surveys. He tells what he was barking orders of where to go. I mean, that's first of all, coach's son.
Oh sure.
So you know that, but also, the soccer IQ of DeCastro is very high.
He's got to go to Sam pretty soon. I really think that should materialize. But he is so good. Look at him. Nice. That should be a call.
And we got to whistle out. So how important, Coach, and I think this is interesting that you mentioned, he's got to get Sam. In basketball, you'd see a guy, and if your best scorer goes a couple minutes without a great shot, you run a play for him. You find a way to get it. He's got to get back in the flow. Same thing, in other sports. If you're wide, if they're double teaming somebody, you find a way to just get the ball in their hands. Mm-hmm. How important is it to try to get the ball on Sam's foot right now, just to kind of remind him what to do?
I think it's very important. I think Coach, though, tells his players that thinking the game. You guys decide what you're going to do with this game here. But I think even Billy being the general out there, he's got to look for him and say, hey, you got to get this one time on your foot and pop one in.
They've got him in the middle of the field, and he's surrounded by 4 guys at any moment. So run through the middle. Petropolis did a nice job for Falcons settling it. Now they'll go down the right side. Well done.
Here we go.
In the middle, in the air. You got to settle it though. No whistle. Now we are going to get the whistle over the back here. That was good position by DeCastro, and he just took like a box out.
Fitch could do the same thing like Stonington when they get down this end. If they would just pass, get it out this side, go. But they're kind of standing around here. They need a break over on the left. They have some speed.
And it's funny because you can hear Coach Wolfrad there say, "Drop off, Aiden, drop off." Talking to number 9, Aiden McLean. You don't get many opportunities in soccer to coach while the game is going on because we talked last week. First of all, no one can hear you. even without fans. The guys on this side of the field, they can't hear anything that you're saying. You're running, they're running full speed, the wind's blowing, they can't hear anything you're saying. But it's when, so when you get a play like that where your kid is near you and you can give a chance just to give them a little tidbit. Nice little.
There you go.
I like the little overlap right there. That was nice.
Very good.
Falcons stepped in, though. Nice job for the Falcons playing on the ball there. Ian Roach. One more. See, one more pass. Quicker, a little quicker.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're just one step a little slow with the pass, giving Stonington a chance to close. There's Montalto.
All right, he was looking.
Cardona stepped in for the Falcons. All right, there you go. That's it. There you go. There's a smart play. There's your transition. Play back. Play.
So you don't have anybody on this side.
Switch fields.
Yeah, 11 should actually be way up here.
Yes. Well, he's not. You can see he's not letting Montalto.
So, yeah, but then here comes. He's got to watch out.
Yeah. So you have Roach back there. Marking, I think, pretty much those two guys know at all times. But the problem, like you said, is now this weak side's wide open again. So that middle, they're clearly pinching. Now look, here comes the weak side. Lindenmeyer's wide open.
Yeah.
There goes the ball to Lind. Nope, check that.
He's going to cross it.
That's Pereira. That was new into the game. Jacob Pereira. He was taking the Lindenmeyer spot, and Pereira was wide open. Martinez in the other direction for the Falcons. Here's a chance to switch fields. He tries to put it up ahead for Greaves. Greaves, one man to beat out there was DeVoe, and DeVoe did a beautiful job stepping through.
Yep, that was very nice. That was a one-on-one right there.
Again, the patience right now. Stonington, very patient. Pereira plays it back to DeCastro.
There he goes.
DeCastro, nice ball. Hune back to the middle. Here's another touch. And weak side just knocking it out of bounds is Drake. And you can tell they're starting to get a little tired down there. We're hitting that sort of that point in the half where that defense of Fitch has been working a lot. DeVoe will throw it in. Set piece for the Bears. DeVoe goes short, near post, head ball. Look at the work that DeCastro down there, though.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. That was just so savvy. He waited. He played
He
it,
knew.
boxed him out, and as soon as the Fitch kid touched it, he let it go out of bounds for a corner. I mean, that's just
All right, what do
smart
you got?
soccer.
They don't put anybody on the post at all, Stonington, so they all come in.
Yeah.
Some other teams put one on each.
And it's interesting because Fitch is defending near post, and they're letting.
Yeah, look at there. All right, here he comes.
All right. Head ball out. Now you got to break. You got to break. Now you got to get out of there. Do not let him send it right back in, which he just did. Nice there. He's a nice job. Nice touch. All right, there we go. The Falcons. Nice job on the edge.
Oh, he has to win that. He did. Oh, he's not going to win this one.
Right to DeCastro.
Look at that.
Out it goes. Sowen now. Beautiful ball. One touch. Nice stop on a dime, and he slipped.
Ooh.
Oh, Alan Fernandez had a great opportunity, but he slipped as he tried to put on a little stop on a dime, and he couldn't do it.
Oh.
Quick reset. There is another opportunity for Alan Fernandez down in the corner. There's that stop on a dime that time, off to the left foot. Back it goes, and a nice save by Virtue. Sowen put the ball right on net, and Virtue stood tall. We're 10.5 minutes remaining. The Falcons have sort of weathered the initial storm. I mean, they haven't had a shot on goal yet, but, they've weathered the storm. Which is what we talked about as well. Would they just try to play this thing to, 1-0, 0, This is where, I know they say that 2-0 is the most dangerous lead in soccer, but I think 2-0 in this game might as well be 10-0.
Sure.
There's a rip by DeCastro.
He does. He sets up 3 or 4 plays, and then he takes a rip. I'd like to see him. I haven't seen him yet. He passes to the side and make a break and get it back, a give and go, because then he'd be like 18, and he could nail one. I think, Coach, if they don't score, I think Coach DeCastro is going to have a little talk with that on the offensive-minded stuff and say, guys, what are you going to do? You got to figure this out.
The weak side, I mean, I think you nailed it. That weak side is there, but then you got to look for that return. You got to, once you hit the weak side, you got to make that run.
He's going to take it.
Here comes Sam, split the defenders, left foot, and he had point blank, and he let it rip too high.
Okay.
You're right. That's a good look
That's
there.
it.
I mean, he split 2 defenders, kept one on his hip. Now, that's a tough shot going to your left, trying to turn and get a good angle on the goal. But Sam definitely, I think he saw there that that's the opportunity he's looking for.
And if he does that 1 or 2 more times, he might get a PK. I mean, there could be one of these trips, in the box. I mean, he's going to do it.
Oh, he's so physical. They have to try to body him up, and you're right. When that happens, it would be fitting as a penalty. These teams are no strangers to penalty kicks with each other.
No, that's right.
There's Greaves pushing through and a trip. And that's going to be, I don't know, I don't want to say flop, but that was definitely
that was the word you were alluding to before.
I didn't want to say the F word.
I was going to say the dive.
The dive. So we don't say
that's
the
D word.
We don't say the F word on air.
In hockey, we'd call that an embellishment.
An embellishment is, that's right, that's the hockey term. That's a great term because, and it should be something elegant like that because I want to hear a coach yell lovely embellishment. So going to have a kick for the Falcons.
Here it comes.
Lynch will take it up in the air, heading in. The nice save by the keeper.
I'm surprised the keeper didn't call his defender off because that could have been that almost was a mistake. But first time he touched the ball, I think.
That's right. That's first time. Tavares, the sophomore, first time he had to do anything. But we watched him play so well against Ledger. Really did a nice job, coming in as a sophomore after, that's a tough task to come in and lead a defending state champion team as a sophomore. Wow. He did a great job. And then it seems like, he, I don't want to say got sloppy, but, he got a little loose in their previous game against Fitch, letting in a goal that I think he would like to have back. So, it's also very difficult as a keeper when you have nothing to do for a long, long time. It can, you can certainly, your energy level can fade, get a little on your heels. Montalto had a chance there, but triple coverage and going down hard.
This is interesting. They're 2 very good teams. I mean, but to have a freshman and a sophomore in the goal.
That's
wow.
That's a great point, Coach.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't see for teams this good. No.
So now I'm thinking maybe on that direct kick, that the back line guy said, "Hey, I'm taking it. I'll protect him."
Greaves just trying to do it himself. Has a man on the outside and turns it out now. Back looking for a return pass. Oh, and a nice stone and steal for the Bears. Oh, beautifully done. Johnson back through the mid. Out to Sowen. Sowen looking for Montalto. Now Montalto, what's he going to do with the ball? So dangerous, goes left with it, and a beautiful job and a step in. But Montalto, so strong with the right foot, far post, looking weak side, no one there. Head ball out, and
it's
the
good
Falcons.
that he's touching the ball. He needs more action.
I almost think it's crazy to say this, as DeCastro looks to re-lead for Stonington. I almost think it's crazy to say this, but at some point, Fitch might have to say, we have to give him a little less attention. Someone's going to have to make a play against him. Because as we keep sending 2 and 3 towards him. Yeah. These other guys are running wild.
That's right. It'll be,
Maybe someone, maybe we have to treat him like a human being.
Well, then you treat him like a human being and he bangs. But you really, you have to figure out what you're going to do here.
Well, I think that part of the strategy might be to not do the same thing over and over again, right? So you send 2 at him. Another time you send 3 at him. Another time one guy is there and you mark man, just to give him different kind of looks because right now he knows every time that weak side is open. He knows every time that he can split that double. I think what you said is really important that he needs to look once he splits that double. He needs to look for the to make the run off of the pass.
And on the other side, Coach Jay, he's probably saying, I got 5 minutes to go. I'm down 1-0 without 2 of my studs here.
That's
so,
right. If he can, if he can get into halftime 1-0, he would have signed up for that. I think before the game, with seven minutes remaining, he would have he would have, begged for it. I think if you asked him before the game, Coach, 1-0 at half, you'd be okay? I think he would have said, yeah, I'd be okay.
Wow.
After they scored with 7 minutes, I think you said, Coach, now the opposite. I think if you said to Coach DeCastro, hey, 1-0 at half, I think he'd say, no, that's disappointing.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. I think Coach might have expected it to be better. I really do.
And, Fitch has really done everything on this side. There's really not been a lot of, on the far side, there has not been a lot of action by either team really on the far side, other than that early Montalto pass to Sawin for the goal. This near side of the field has been really strongly worked.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's Johnson in the middle, and the chance now to switch fields. But again, see, it goes right back. Maybe there's something they like here.
They're trying something different here.
He wanted to find Maroney on the run, but stepped in. Now they're going to send DeVoe, and he'll come and take the throw. No, they're going to play it into DeVoe. Plenty of space. DeVoe, low ball, far post. And cleared by the Falcons. Martinez, beautiful job keeping it on his foot. Now he looks ahead for Greaves.
They're looking for that one slip, that one maybe mistake, but
they're going to try to counterpunch. The one time they get the one, and they're going to try to land a haymaker. The one time they might have a chance.
And if their defense can hold on, that's a possibility.
Yep. See, I am a big. It's simplistic soccer. I'm a big fan of, but I am a huge fan of changing fields. I mean, going east-west. All the way across east-west and changing things up. And I like that Stonington just did that.
Yep.
That's a nice move. And headed out. We're down under 3 minutes now.
I think Billy is still wide open out here. I'd like to.
There's the ball. Beautiful ball over the top. Just high by DeCastro. Now that's 35 yards out, which is, might be a little bit far. But if he puts that ball
upper right,
that's an impossible.
That was close. That was
very close.
It was rising, but that was close.
And here's the thing: the reason why I like the shot is because if it's a foot to the right, it might be in, and if it's a foot lower, you might get a rebound.
Absolutely, hit the bar, come back.
Absolutely. I mean,
they're flooding the zone, so they're flooding it.
And I like that. I like that. Like I said, I like my best guys putting balls on net. If they're going to give me that from 35 yards, I'll put it on net.
And they're not doing it every time, which is good. They're mixing that stuff up.
That's right.
If I were Fitch with 2 minutes, I'd do a little bit more possession now. Mm-hmm. Spread out the field, possess the ball. Don't give it up.
Sawin makes a nice move.
This kid's got some move. Huh? Take it easy.
Smart play. Drake took it away. Nice, gets the ball back. Drake and Cabena Idrovo had a nice little thing going there, but stolen by Sawin. DeCastro tries to put it right back in and just cleared. And Stonington is very dangerous right now. We saw Ledyard let their guard down with about 10 seconds left in the half and gave up a goal to Montalto with 10 seconds as time expired. I believe Stonington has scored 2 goals this year at the buzzer of halves. So they play to the whistle. So you got to, or the horn as it will. 50 seconds remaining here in half number 1. 1-0 Stonington on an early goal from Will Sawin off the foot of an assist from Sam Montalto. Outside ball goes to Marone. Center, far post, and just out over the outstretched Virtue. Almost a far post opportunity. Far post opportunity, but out it goes. Now, if I'm Fitch right now, I'm taking my sweet time with this goal kick. Tick, 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 tick. Yep, 15 seconds. Take your time. And possess it, right? You got to possess it.
Oh, yeah. Just take. Or kick it up the field. I mean, there you go.
That's a nice flick to
there you go.
Greaves. 3 seconds.
Hey, take a shot.
And there's your horn as we head to the half. 1-0. Stonington on top. Game day is brought to you by the Burns Agency. In your neighborhood, taking care of your home, auto, business, and life insurance needs since 1932. At the Burns Agency, you're going to never, ever, ever get a voicemail. Always a live person, and you can remember, you buy better at Burns and by Waterford Dental Health, where your smile and your health are our top priority. We are at the half, 1-0, Stonington on top here at home versus the Fitch Falcons. Of course, the Falcons defeating Stonington earlier in the year in overtime, and of course, Stonington beating Fitch in penalty kicks last year in the ECC championship game. So these two teams certainly have, a feeling of overtime. So, you almost got to wonder, Coach, 1-0, is there a way? Because looking at that first half, what did you see that you liked from Stonington, and what would you like to see Stonington adjust?
Number one is, as you saw also, they're very deft with the ball. They're a very, very good passing team. They keep their heads up. They know where the players are going to go, and they play so wide. Their outside mids are playing almost on the line. So, and they move the ball down the field great. I just think Coach is going to start talking to them about, listen, you've got to be more successful in the box. You put a couple of shots on the freshman goalie and stuff, and they're going left to right, but they're not connecting. So I think he's going to talk to them a little bit about, hey, let's do a little bit more in the box. Let's get it juggled.
On the flip side of things, what did you like out of the Falcons, and what do you think their adjustment needs to be?
Well, I got to tell you, he's got to be happy. I mean, they at one time had like 9 guys in that box down there, and they're heading the ball out. The ball's being crossed. They're making some stops. They're doing 2-on-1 on Sam. The only thing I don't see really, maybe they made 4 runs down the field.
Yeah.
And they need to talk, okay, look, we got to get some offense here. And so, and I think it's just, it's almost like a simple thing is, I think you mentioned it. Get your head off of Sam when the ball's down in our third, and take 2 guys and come on up and support. Because, hey, if for some reason somebody bombs a 50-yarder, it's going to be a 2-on-1 anyways. But yeah, they need more numbers up there to help out. Because that little boy on the left that we talked about, number 14, is it? Or
we're talking about
no.
Martinez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had the ball 4 or 5 times. He can't do it by himself. It's like a 3-on-1 down here.
And then Greaves,
And
the
Greaves.
big kid. Definitely they've been playing the 2 of them. Have Fitch, but there's really not been much else. And so you're right. Fitch can't score, barring some really, some freakish, a deflection.
Well,
some things can happen. But
yeah.
Fitch is not going to be able to mount consistent offense playing the formation they're playing right now.
Yeah.
This is not designed for them to have a lot in the way of offense. So that'll be the question. Is Coach Wolfrat content playing like this and until what point?
If Coach were to say to me, and you know what, they're the guys. They know their teams. They know everything. And he said, we're down all these guys. We're looking for that one pop to Greaves, in the middle. But I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that ball go up there. If we've seen 4 or 5 of those, and he's got offsides a couple of times, okay, there's a game plan there. But I don't see it going up, So he's going to – I would tell my guys, hey, listen, I'm very happy with 1-0. But now, you want to play the rest of the game 1-0? No. We want to win this thing, so let's get something happening here.
What do you think about? And again, you're my layman's viewpoint of adjustments. But what do you think from a Fitch perspective of the following 2 things? One, trying to send somebody else up, which would have been a far side where we were in the first half, because it felt like when they tried to hit that pop to Greaves or when Martinez was running. If there was that one more run coming from the other side so that they could hit that, I felt like they were playing one side of the field, and it was really easy to defend. So if it is going to be just the trying to get Greaves 1-on-1 and go long, I'm with you. If you do that over and over again,
right.
But short of that.
Well, you can't do that and leave 4 in the back.
Right.
So get 5 midfielders and tell the outside 2 midfielders you got it. Just like Stonington. Play Stonington's game.
I'm so glad you said that, because that was the second part was going to be, what do you think about increasing the midfield a little bit with the idea that one of you is defensive minded? You're going to, when the ball's on the far side, you're going to have to make sure you get back and cover. But I don't know. I don't know that there's an easy answer. They're definitely undermanned, but I'm be curious to what the coaches said. Sports Doctor, you were down there in the huddles. What'd you hear?
Well, first of all, is it early for Halloween? I saw Ty Fitch's dad, and the Candyman gave me a Snickers, a Twix, and Casey, some M&Ms, and I'll save those for you.
That's my man.
So trick or treat early. First of all, Coach Jay Wolfrat over to my left says, listen, we got to keep it simple. We're not playing kickball out there. There's no reason to panic. We weathered the storm. Let's try and control the tempo a little bit. As far as Paul DeCastro and his Stonington team, they talk. I've never seen a group of kids and the coach interact so much, Casey. They love what they're doing. The one thing they're not doing is executing at the net and finishing it off. But Paul DeCastro, very pleased, likes the way the ball is moving. Keep it wide, keep it moving. Kids are engaged. They got to finish at the net. Jay Wolfrat on the other side, again, take a deep breath. We weathered the storm. Now let's play controlled soccer. Casey, I'm going to save you the M&Ms.
I think that's fantastic, Sports Doc. Are you going to save me just one M&M or the whole bag?
I'm going to have to go back to the candy man in a few minutes because we're both big guys and these are mini sizes.
Thank you, Sports Doctor. I haven't been called mini-sized in many, many years. I like what Coach Wolfrat, I like the idea of at some point you're not the underdog anymore. Your kids, the great thing about high school kids is while they're fully aware of the circumstances, they're still confident enough to believe they're good enough no matter what. So, the idea of, hey guys, let's take a deep breath. We can control the tempo. We can control this game. We can do that. I think that's a message that his team will buy into. I think they, being down 1-0 and playing essentially 30 minutes of soccer even, instills that confidence. So I definitely like the idea that, hey, we're not underdogs here. This is a game we expect to win, and you're not a freshman anymore. As of right now, you are no longer a freshman. You're the starting goalie for the Fitch Falcons, so let's go. I think that's great. And on the other side of things, when you're a great team, when you're a state champion, there's a level of confidence and communication, and I think that's what's evident over there. Stonington's, I don't want to say angry, but yeah, they're angry that they're down one, that they're only up 1-0, but it's, they're in their mind, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, for that freshman there, Virtue, the one goal, he had no prayer. It wasn't his fault. They did execute back and forth across the goal, and he stopped the ones that he should have stopped. He got in there. He was in a lot of corner kicks. He was in some restarts like that. Good for him. I had a team once in online for girls, and we were playing at Montville High, and it was 1-0. We were playing St. Bernard's, I think, in a semifinal game or something. And it was 1-0, and I definitely had a good crew. And I just went into him. I said, "How are you going to figure this out?" I said, "You look pretty." Now, this is interesting because we talk about how good they look. I said to my girls, "You look pretty out there. You're passing the ball all around the place, but what do you have to show?" Mm-hmm. At least they have one goal.
So that's a good point, because at the end of the day, I'd rather look ugly and put 2 in the back of the net than look beautiful and have a 0 next to my name.
You got it.
It's funny you say that. Back when in 1989, when I was playing for New London High School, we hadn't beaten Waterford for the Lessig Cup, but we hadn't won one in so long that I think Waterford didn't even know where it was to find it to give it back to us. But the Waterford controlled, I would say, 78 minutes of that game. They had the ball. They looked fabulous. I remember Chris Podeswa running all over the field and setting people up, but through a couple of hit posts, a couple of deflections, a couple of whiffs, they didn't score. And then with about 6 minutes remaining in the game, our defense, who were a bunch of football linemen playing soccer,
Sure.
and who'd had very little, we just banged one
Yep.
up long, and Ricky Alfred got it on his foot, put it in net, and we beat Waterford. And we're like, how the heck do we win this game? Because we looked so ugly doing it, but we were able to do the ultimate thing, which is to score the one goal.
Yeah.
I think you're right. If this was 0-0, Stonington might be apoplectic over there wanting to.
Yeah.
But what's dangerous about the 1-0 lead is what I said. Is that I don't think Fitch can score 2 goals. So from Stonington's perspective, right now they haven't been threatened. Fitch has got to find a way to get a shot or 2 on goal here in the
They
second
had that
half.
one right in front of the goal.
Yeah.
and it was headed. By the way, after you scored that goal against Waterford in the 80s, they had a great team too. They went to the finals a couple of times. But how much time was left after you scored the goal?
3 minutes.
3? Wasn't that the most hectic 3 minutes you guys
Longest,
ever played?
It was the longest 3 minutes of my life.
And if you're kickers then, you are just banging.
Oh, we just like out of bounds, kicking it out of bounds and hoping the ball boy's slow.
And the coach might, oh, go ahead.
Game Day is brought to you by the Burns Agency in your neighborhood, taking care of your home, auto, business, and life insurance needs since 1932. At the Burns Agency, you will never get a voicemail, just a live person, and you can always remember you buy better at Burns. And by Waterford Dental Health, where our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the personalized, convenient, and affordable dental care you and your family deserves. Yeah, Coach, it was.
Oh my God.
It was a good, but it's. I think that because Rob Brule was the first to say 2-0, most dangerous lead in soccer. I think if that's true when you have an offense. Right now, I think Fitch could score a goal because and you could always score a goal. Things can happen.
Yep.
The current way they're playing, they can't score 2 because it would require breakdowns, and Stonington's just too disciplined to do that. So if Stonington could find a way to get one more into the net, then I think they force Fitch to change the game plan that they're going with right now.
Yes.
And then it could be 6-0.
Yeah. Well, you're right. I'd say that first 10 minutes, if they talked, he said to figure it out. You're going to see them press a little bit more, and going back and forth across the goal hasn't really worked a lot for them. You might see a little bit more trying to that flat back 4. They might try to go over the top and get Sam to outrun that back and put a goal in on the freshman. And that's an interesting thing.
I think that's a great. We talked about how they, they were all on the ground, but I think you're right. That's definitely one of the classic ways to, to beat the flat 4 is to, if you have a guy who can run on, it's the way to go. I happen to think that Stonington was a victim of being too skilled. I think the freshman goalie, the thing you could do best, I think, is brute force soccer. I think just putting as many they don't have to be good shots. As many shots onto goal.
Yeah.
All those balls that sailed wide or sailed high, just get them on. Make
and
him
then
make
back
saves.
up, retrieve it again after the kick, and go back for it.
That's
go
right.
back out. Yeah, sure. Let's see what happens.
Because I think that the goal by Sowen from Montalto was a gorgeous goal that would have beaten any keeper in the world. No one get.
Oh, yeah.
But I got a freshman in there. I don't need that goal. I want him to make 20 saves.
Yeah.
And if he can do that with no rebounds and all that, then that's fine.
Yeah, if that defender on the weak side would have seen that, it would be 0-0 right now.
That's true. Message clearly is to be more physical also from the Falcons. I can tell you right now. That knowing Coach Wolfrat the way I do, when he says, the tempo is ours, you're going to see them come out much more physical. And for folks at home, that doesn't mean knocking people over or playing dirty or illegal. It means, run through the ball, run to, not just, don't tiptoe around the guy. When the guy's got the ball, go through the ball.
Except in the 1980s, that kind of play.
Oh,
when you have football players.
In the 1980s, we just beat people
bang.
up. Yeah, we just beat people up.
Yeah.
We absolutely did.
And that really wasn't the beautiful soccer that we're watching now.
No one ever accused us of playing elegant soccer, and I talk about that all the time because Rob Brule and I were competitors in so much as we shared a field. There was nothing competitive. He was a great player. But yeah, no, the soccer we played was brute force soccer. We were physical. We used our athletes the best we could, and a team like Stonington would pummel us because they were like Muhammad Ali, dodging every punch we threw and then smacking us around. Here's a chance early for Stonington. There's that weak side pass. Sowen has it, goes back to the middle. Nice little touch, and can't quite get there. That was well done. Dahl had the chance, and then right back in. Now to Castro will control. Nice little touch pass to Dahl. Dahl has 2 defenders. There's nice play back to Clark. Clark, weak side. That's a nice touch right there by Fitch, but they can't clear. Montalto off the chest. Can't get a foot on it. And we're going to get a whistle, and we're going to get a penalty against Montalto. But that was well done by the Falcons. They bodied him. And
I've noticed that right away. They double-teamed him, and then they also double-teamed on the corner over here. So maybe that flat back 4. Now he said, hey, ball goes, you double-team. Okay, it's becoming a little bit clearer.
Sowen loses control, regains out to the outside. Dahl in the corner, short ball. Nice job by the Falcons with the head ball. Stonington again, though, so content to Castro, taking his time. Makes a little run now with the ball. Touch to himself, and he loses it, so it'll be a throw-in for the Falcons. And nope, they're going to say it's off a Falcon, which just doesn't surprise me because DeCastro is very, very good at that. So DeVoe will come in to make the long throw. They're going to set 4. They're going to stack 4
and put one on the keeper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go short and head ball out. Head ball back in. Little flicking right in front. Oh, he had a chance.
Yeah, I'm amazed. That keeper looked like he was just waiting for the ball. He didn't look, unless he was frozen.
Well, I think they caught someone offsides.
Yeah, okay.
And I think the keeper realized that because he was. You're right. Otherwise, he was not moving.
Deer in the headlights. Okay, here it comes.
That's a good. And give credit to the defenders of the Falcons.
Yeah.
Nice move, Montalto, and chance in front.
There it is.
And scores!
Yep.
Oh, Sam is the man. And second time today, beautiful things have happened off the foot of Montalto. 2-0 Bears. Just like we saw in half number 1, we're only 4 minutes in, and the Bears have a goal in. He's a dynamic player. What I like about in game day, we've certainly covered a lot of athletes, and the kids are great. I mean, we've had so many great kids, but the kids who are so clearly good kids outside of the sport they play become game day favorites very quickly. And Sam Montalto's a good kid. He's a good interview. He's a good kid to talk to. Certainly, obviously, a humble star. And so and that and the fact that I feel like I've been covering him for about 12 years.
Is he a one-sport athlete, or does he play other sports?
No, Sam does play other sports. He's a basketball player as well.
Good.
I believe we saw him trying to dunk last year. That didn't go well for him, though. I think I joked with him that he should try to kick the ball into the.
Well, they're also lucky to have you guys that know them, and when you see them, and you could talk about things, and that's good.
Well, there's a kid, at Old Lyme that we happen to adore. Aiden Using was a kid that,
goodness.
That's a good example. We covered them a few times, and you talk about a kid who just stands out. Forget about the basketball. The kid just stands out as a human being. He's just a great kid, and that's the kind of thing that makes our jobs pleasurable. Is getting to know some of these kids, and Aiden was just fabulous, and just having a conversation with him was just great.
I collected tickets, for the basketball game. He always came in. Hey, Mr. D, how are you? And he really didn't know me. I mean, I'd been retired for a while, but he's just very, very nice, and he could play.
Yes, he really could.
He could play.
Yeah, he really can. Yeah. Sports Doctor, you got something for us down there?
Yeah, Casey. Speaking of Old Lyme, Brady Sheffield works on my UPS route at a local coffee shop. And one of the perks of my job is he's hooking up the Sports Doctor with coffee almost every day because of our work on game day.
Sports
great
Doctor,
kid.
that's great. I haven't seen any of that coffee, Sports Doctor. Thanks very much for bringing me one tonight. But I appreciate that, you get taken care of.
You're welcome, Casey. Next time.
Hold on to my M&Ms. 2-0 Stonington here. Yeah, Brady Sheffield, another example. We really enjoyed the Old Lyme team, covering them because there was a really special group of kids. And,
absolutely.
A team that was, unfortunately affected, as so many of these kids and teams were, by the schedule changes of COVID. But we really loved covering them, and those kids are going to be fine.
Yeah.
They're going to go on to great things. I think I joked that Aiden Using doesn't have to worry about. As much as missing out on the CIAC playoffs, there are much bigger things in his future. So,
I've made a couple trips to the gym at Old Lyme, and never have I walked into a gym or on my way out and had every member of the team come up and shake hands, look you in the eye, and say thank you so much for coming out.
Yes.
Great.
Just 201. Every single kid on that team, super friendly and polite and gracious, and just a joy to cover.
Yeah, I felt bad for them because they had it in their sights to go back and and after losing in the finals before, so that's weird. But somebody interviewed Aiden Using, and he was talking about it. He goes, hey, look, I really feel it's got to be tough playing in the mask, but those kids, no matter what, if you want to play, they'll wear it.
That's right. That was Mike DeMoro's column, and I read that, and I felt the same thing. Here's, by the way, Fitch with the ball on the other side. They've sent a couple of guys up. Look at the offensive players now for the Falcons. There are 5, and they've moved up the midfielders. So they realize down 2-0, they're going to have to make a change.
And you said that too. You said if they get 2, they'll be changing. And so coach is right on it.
Here's Martinez, far side. In the middle, roll through, and booted by Sowen. Martinez will settle on the far side and get a whistle, so we're going to get a kick here.
Oh.
So here's the first real chance of this half for Falcons.
Who's going to take it? 14.
Yep, so they're going to send Lynch up to take the kick. Now, you got to think a guy like Greaves has to come into play here. Big, strong, tall kid. See if he makes a run. He's on the far post now, far edge of the 18. Let's see if he makes a run.
He's got his hand up.
Here we go. Lynch puts it on goal instead, and a beautiful save by Tavares. Oh, what a save. Brandon Tavares got up, perfectly timed it because Lynch had that one set for the top of the net.
Good for him.
Corner kick for the Falcons. You see 6 offensive players now for the Falcons, 7, 8. So now they're selling out more here because they know they've got to get a ball in the net here. High arcer. Greaves was on the weak side, couldn't get it. Boys, and a goal by the Falcons. An answer from the Falcons by Aiden McLean.
Very nice.
The ball was bouncing, it was loose, and McLean found pay dirt. 2-1 Stonington. Big play to get the Falcons back into it.
This makes it interesting now. Let's see what happens.
30 minutes. We're not even 10. We've had 2 goals. We're not even 9 minutes.
And then Coach Jay could be saying, "Why didn't we do this to begin the game?"
Well, I think the danger is it's shootout time, right?
Yeah.
If we're gonna, this is not going to end 2-1. I feel safe saying this is not going to end 2-1.
Well, this, if they tie up 2-2, it's like deja vu. Here we go again. Boy, then the adrenaline starts flowing.
Well, then Stonington starts thinking, do we have to play overtime against these guys? Bears going in the other direction.
Nice.
Oh, nice slide tackle out there. Falcons, well done.
Number 9.
Yeah, that was McLean. He's feeling it right now.
I guess so.
Touch in the middle. Good chance here. Backside. Montalto wanted it, and they're going to get a whistle here. What's the call?
I don't know. Offsides. He
push off on Montalto. Other direction here. Deep ball on the run.
All right, they got
Greaves is going to push up on it. Ford was up there as well. They got the Bears on their heels a little bit.
Lynch is getting into play a lot more, too, for Fitch. He's an all-stater, right?
Yes. Noriega with the ball. We passed it off now. Into Castro. Look at that. Every other player would hit that ball in the air. Every other player would bang that. Instead, I love that. That is just well done.
Yeah.
Lynch puts it looking for Greaves. Well done there. That was such a patient. DeVoe backing off that ball, letting it come to him. Well done. Keith, you got Jay Wolfrat.
Jay, Coach, a lot of pressure here the last couple of trips down. You guys got one on the board. Seems to loosen your kids up a little bit.
Yeah, they're starting to play a little energy right now. Like I said, I told you before, they're going to compete. Obviously, we got to do a better job with the ball. We keep giving it away once we get it, making life very difficult for ourselves. But it was nice to get the corner there. It was nice to execute on it. So.
Again, it's probably nice to see your team kind of hang in there and claw its way back. You're 1 goal away from being tied up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, we're not going to go away easily anyway.
All right, Coach. Thanks. Case.
Thank you, Doctor. Yeah, no, he got to be happy because I think the energy is what a goal can do for you, too, right? That one goal can really take your energy and lift it up. DeCastro put that one out. Now here come the Falcons. Now, Stonington has been pretty consistent in their approach. They don't change their shape much. I shouldn't say that. They constantly change their shape, but they do it with the players on the field
Absolutely.
in the moment, which I think is just brilliant. So at any moment, they can look like any number of things.
Yeah. The only thing I have noticed is Billy DeCastro has played back a little bit more. He's more like a defensive mid. So if anything gets clogged, they'll bring it back to him. But I think he could push up a little more. I'd like he's got a rocket for a foot, man. But let's see what happens. See how far back he is here.
Yeah, he's at the midfield right now. Sowen's got it, and he's gonna.
They work hard on that on the outside mids. They work hard.
When the other thing I love about DeCastro now.
He's coming all the way in.
So when they have a set play, he's a part of it. He's going to go right on the keeper.
And this isn't so much fun for that young keeper having him there.
And they look
there
for DeCastro, and in front, a nice job. Virtue came out.
Yeah.
Push it out, son. Good job. Soccer midfield can, you can run the better part of a marathon out there. But if you do it right, and DeCastro is a good example, there's no wasted effort for him.
Absolutely.
He knows where he has to be. He kind of drifts and glides like he's supposed to, and then he makes the run when he needs to. But, you ever see those some midfielders, and they're just running around nonstop. He's very, very, sort of patient in his movements, just knows where to be.
You know who was kind of like that was Michael Bradley for the national team.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you'd seem like Lope out there, but he knew when to run, when not to. What? Don't waste my energy on a play. I'm not even going to be in it.
Oh, and you look at DeCastro now, and he's all the way up, and he's just he is the playmaker of the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's the point guard. If Montalto is the scorer, DeCastro is the point guard, and there he has a nice touch to the outside.
Here it comes.
Ball in front, weak side.
Okay, they covered it this time, but here comes outside mid.
There's the pass. Now set it right back in again. Low ball, touched out off the foot. Clark tried to get it in, and the Falcons play it out now. DeVoe. It's a nice little battle out there, DeVoe and Ford. DeVoe heads towards goal. Splits two defenders, dangerous place. DeVoe
nice
all the way to goal, waiting patient, and he
scores!
scores!
Nice move.
Cole DeVoe, Coco with the goal, 3-1 Bears. That was just a singularly talented effort by DeVoe. I mean, once he split the defenders, you could sense that the keeper was in trouble. And right back now, the Falcons are down 2 again. They're going to have to push up.
No, I think this, like you said, it could open up some floodgates here, though.
Greaves.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful ball. Now look at DeCastro, run up the middle. Oh, that's nice job
play.
by Fitch. Yep.
They stuffed it.
And there's DeVoe stepping through. That's the
they
thing
do
right
well.
now.
They read the play. They read that ball where it's going to go.
Yeah, they know when to come up and and when to intercept, when to stay back, play the man.
They have a complete team. There's no doubt about it.
Well, that's the great thing too. When you've got 10, when you have 10 field players, in most teams, you're trying to hide somebody. There's somebody that you're just trying to, and the coach won't always say it to us, but if you get him in the right moment, he'll go, 22. I'm just trying to, make sure, because it's hard to have 10. Stonington does not have anyone to hide. Every single player can play, and he's got subs coming in that can play. It's a very, very talented team. Right now, as Coach Wolfrat said, he's down guys. They're not deep. So Fitch is, trying to. They're not just trying to hide some guys. They're trying to get, they're trying to play guys who don't even play a lot right now because they're understaffed, undermanned. Martinez, stop, puts it in front, and Tavares comes off his line and cleans it up. Oh, that's a beautiful throw, right? That's a beautiful lead throw from Tavares. Montalto, dangerous. Little foot look, trying to get a shot off with his right foot, but he can't. That's well defended out there by the Falcons.
There you go. Take your time.
That was McLean. That was a nice job by
Yeah.
McLean. Far post, almost a chance for Montalto. It just went over the top of the left foot. But yeah, the Bears are starting to
Heat it up.
starting to feel it right now. The Sports Doctor's got Coach DeCastro.
Guys up 2 seemed to energize you a little bit.
Yeah, it did. I thought that was a nice way to start the second half. Unfortunately, we made a foul there, and we conceded to make it 2-1 to give them hope. So it's nice to get the third goal, and hopefully we can get a fourth one here to maybe seal it. So we're playing pretty well, though, we think.
One of the things you talked about at halftime was execution at the net.
Yeah, I think in the final third we've had some chances, and we're just not getting it done. So I think we just got to settle down a little bit and get it on target, I think, is the key.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Case?
Thank you, Sports Doctor. Yeah, I mean, 2 goals here in the second half. Definitely higher percentage shots here in the second half, doing a much better job at net. And you see Fitch now pushing up. They've got 7 guys on the offensive front, so they're trying to up the offensive quotient here a little bit as well.
That little set was very nice. He got the ball and went over the top, but the defense is good for Stonington. They can read. But they have to keep pressing.
Well, I mean, Tobiasen is a stalwart back there. You don't hear his name called so much because the midfield is so good. You know, you don't hear a lot about the Stonington defensive players other than a guy like DeVoe, because DeVoe comes up, as you saw, he scores a goal, he does the throw-ins. But you don't, hear the name of like Tobiasen all that often. You don't hear me call him because the midfield is so talented. They stop so much before they even play back there. Excuse me.
Jonathan Clark. DeVoe. All right, let's see what we have here.
All right, Falcons with a set play here, coming from about the 35.
Lynch is going to try to curl it to the left, and
Not his best, not the best ball. A little shallow. Wanted to get a little deeper.
oh,
Oh no, Montalto. Oh, he was
there we go.
feeling that one.
Oh, they missed this on the right.
And look, 2 guys in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Is too many guys in the middle of the field.
Lynch just bowled over. He had number 3 open.
Yeah, Tom Ford was open running weak side, but they had too many guys in the middle of the field. Lynch had a player
Absolutely.
5 feet to his left, which is, too close, running on the same line as him too. So, clock ticking down now. We're almost halfway through the second half. 3-1 Bears on top, and DeCastro favoring his calf. Whether he got nicked a little bit there, but he'll walk it off. He's not coming off.
Yep, settled very nicely.
Nice ball, far side, Stonington, and out of bounds it goes. It'll be a throw-in for the Bears as Alan Fernandez doing some nice work on the far side. So they'll send DeVoe up to take the throw, and they'll run a set piece as they do. And that's one of the things, Coach, I've talked about in previous broadcasts. One of the biggest changes that I've witnessed over, the last 10 years, maybe a little farther back than that, is this right here, the throw-in from this position becoming a set piece offensively at the high school level. In front, Montalto puts it away for the goal. The throw from DeVoe, the ball got deflected in front, and Montalto buries it. 4-1 Bears.
One little comment on the throw-ins. 10, 15 years ago, they made it a point you had to have both hands behind your ears. If you watch, they've loosened up on that, and you will see kids go wind up, and they get some distance on that throw. But before, they would call, illegal throwing. And
Yeah,
now,
it does seem like illegal throwing was called an awful lot.
Awful lot.
But that's one of the. I mean, when I played, corner kicks were not nearly as strategic as they are now.
Oh,
I mean, the set pieces off of corners are brilliant now.
Absolutely.
But the throw-in, like here, a Falcon throw-in, from that position, there's Greaves with a chance on the head ball, but Tavares is there. Sports Doctor.
Yeah, hey, Casey, I just talked to Coach Paul DeCastro, and he kind of imaged what you said about the throw-in. They practice that set piece time and time again. It can be more dangerous than a corner kick. So good looking out by you, Coach Casey O'Neill.
Well, you know, Sports Doctor, my soccer knowledge is not that of a thumbtack, but it is
Sure.
maybe a large push pin.
You were Johnny on the spot on that one, and they practice that nonstop. And boy, Sam Montalto's a pretty good player, isn't he?
Left foot, right foot, trip, no whistle, and it will go out of bounds. Yeah, I mean, the throw-in has become it's become part of the offense now. It's become a weapon. You mean, you know, when you know, it wasn't that long ago where a throw from the 20-yard line, you would have thrown it back into the middle of play and reset. Now that ball's going on goal, and you're running the same kind of formation runs that you're doing out of corner kicks, and that's a huge change. And not to mention, you know, the circus flip throws and things that we've seen, which, you know, I mean, every time the kid does that, I'm waiting for them to you know, snap their neck.
With these tracks around the field now too, a flip throw is too dangerous, you know.
DeVoe. A little dangerous pass that time, and it's intercepted. Falcons on the far side had the ball out of bounds. It goes minor, and it'll be a throw-in for Fitch. Yeah, the skill level of soccer in general has risen dramatically. You know, again, 15, 20 years ago, up in the air, Tavares off his line, and he'll clean it up. And then a beautiful job transitioning it immediately out of the back line. Well done. There comes Sowen. Up and he whiffs. Can Montalto? No, he can't quite get there, but Sowen does. Step in, change field. In the middle it goes. One touch. Overlapping run is a chip. It goes off the line. Virtue. Montalto got the left foot on it, but he couldn't get it home.
But just what you're saying, exponentially, 10, 15 years ago, you might have one player who have done camps and stuff. Now they all get this skill. I mean, you could see it with Stonington, and there's just so many more players with terrific skills out there.
Yeah, you make a point. I mean, forget when I was playing, it wasn't that long ago, like I said, 10, 15 years ago, where you'd have a kid who you'd say, make that kid use his right foot, right? He doesn't have a strong left. Now they all can use both feet. Or you'd see the kid in the midfield, he'd trap it with his chest onto his foot, possess it, turn. Maybe you had a kid or two could do that. Now they all can do it. I mean, it really has advanced a huge amount.
It's amazing. And my girls, when we used to come in the beginning of practice and stuff, we did juggling. I might have two girls that within a minute with their knees, they could juggle it almost 100 times. And then you've got another player who can do 15.
Right.
And so, yeah, the difference of the players, they seem to all know the game now, too.
Oh, sure.
You know?
Absolutely. There are more soccer players. There used to be kids who played soccer. Now there are more soccer players. I laugh because, who played the left side for us? Whoever had the left foot.
Yeah.
Whoever was left-footed. You played the left side.
I played left. I had a left foot.
That's right.
I was the left wing.
That's right, because you were left-footed. I mean, it was just, and that was what you did. We played. We had one side worth of skills, and these kids are playing, and they're playing elegant soccer too. I mean, the coaching has also gone up tremendously. There aren't guys. It's not the. I don't want to insult any teacher at all, but it's not the teacher who wants to go and coach soccer and says, hey, I'll roll it out there and play. These soccer coaches know so much soccer, and it's the coaching has gotten so good.
Absolutely.
How much do you think the advent of television, so you're talking about 20 years now of soccer coverage on TV, where it's become beyond the World Cup, where you can watch soccer all the time. How much do you think access to soccer and watching soccer, in addition, I know the camps are the biggest thing, but how much do you think watching soccer has changed how kids approach it?
Well, I think because of the camps, they understand the game more. So I think watching soccer is more pleasurable because they can pick out certain things that the players are going to do. But they also pick out some bad things in soccer too. Watching TV and these guys and the flops and the pulling of the jerseys and things like that to gain advantage. But I think more kids would enjoy the game of soccer watching it because they understand what's going on.
That's a great point. The camp feeds the insight. The insight is fed. But you're 100% right. I joke all the time that my kids who watch the NBA, it's like the worst possible thing they can do. When I had a 7th grader try to do a step-back 3, there's an opportunity in front and well shielded by the Falcons. I had a kid trying to do a step-back 3. I said, "You're in 7th grade." He goes, "You know what? You saw James Harden do that, so you think what are you doing here?"
Kemba Walker, he loved to do those.
I mean, it's just I'm like the Euro step. I had a kid yell at me because I called a travel in a practice, and he's like, "That's not a travel." I'm like, "It is. Just because you're watching Damian Lillard do it doesn't mean that you get to do it."
Right.
And the same thing applies in all sports. My son, who's a very talented baseball player, makes these lazy kind of like flip throws every once in a while because he's watching these guys in the Major League playoffs. And I said, when you sign your contract, son, then you can stop doing it the right way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the soccer's the same thing. You're right. They see some of the immense talent that some of these guys have, and so maybe try to imitate some of the things they see. But I can't remember a time in the ECC where we had, so many solid programs, so many talented kids, and certainly stretching down the shoreline. And
absolutely, yeah, you're 100% correct. It's not only a 1 and 2 team league anymore where you say, well, we'll play the others, but when we go, no, they're all trying to get out there, and they're playing some good soccer. I loved it in the shoreline when we had out of 12, we'd have 2 that were kind of weak, but 10, and you're going to play day in and day out. That's neat.
Yeah, I mean, just this year, right? We saw Stonington beat Ledyard beat Fitch beat Stonington, and right there, that's 3 teams. But traditionally, Waterford is, Waterford very good as well.
I
East
think Woodstock
Lyme,
is up this year. How about Montville? What is this with Montville?
Well,
Wow.
we had Colin Delaney on, and there's a DeVoe. He wants another one. Those defenders don't get a lot of chances up front. So, well, Colin Delaney and I, we talked. Montville has turned into a real soccer community, and the town is a soccer town. And
well, Colin has a lot to do with that.
He does.
I
Absolutely
remember when Colin played for Paul Christensen in East Lyme.
That's right.
But yeah, he's done a tremendous job with that program. And it's good to see. He brought it up to another level too. A lot of times, you make the kids feel good. You make the kids they know the game and they have success. Success breeds.
Yeah, but you're right. The level, the amount of teams each year, 2-3 teams is now 6-7 teams, and and then you might have, and like you said, you might have a year where you get, where even the bottom teams are dangerous. You might only have one team that's not particularly strong, and that says a lot because the chip on the shoulder that we have here in this part of the state, where toward the other part of the state, thinking we don't play sports down here. I remember for years, as good as like a Stonington was. So them breaking through and winning a state championship last year was huge because, how many years did we see teams from our area go down and then play the Avons and the Glastonburys, and there's a whole other level of soccer that they didn't see. Well, now it's there. So here's a chance for Stonington. Throw in from DeVoe, high, dangerous in front. Got a clear for Fitch. No good, no clear.
Turn.
Legs churning. Here's a shot. And a
nice
save by Virtue. Rebound. Shot, and it sails over the top by DeCastro.
Yeah, you talked about this. I did this. This is a state tournament from the ECC, state champs and runners-up. Stonington, they've got two states, and they've got 2 runner-ups, So between Stonington and East Lyme's done it, I think, 3 runner-up and 1 state champ. But, hey, and that was going back to almost 1948.
Sports doctor, pay attention. I got a color guy who does homework.
No,
Appreciate
no,
that.
you're fine. You don't have nothing to worry about.
I'm a sideline guy for soccer, and we're trying to bring you inside the huddle, Casey.
No.
That's what we're trying to do down here.
Sports Doctor, I love you down on the sidelines. Right? I mean, you're down with your people.
It's a little chilly down here, and never mind being inside the huddle. I want to huddle up, but because of COVID right now, we just can't do it.
You guys are great. Dunkin' Donuts, call my name. Goodbye.
Coach, I mean, you put up a lot sitting next to Casey all game long. I mean, at least down here, Coach, I can remove my earpiece, and I'm good to go. I got a little peace and quiet.
He's amazing. No, this guy keeps the whole game in flow. I mean, really,
Absolutely.
I'm just dressing up here, you know.
Coach, we've talked about this, Casey and I, too, the level of talented kids that are playing soccer now the last 10 or 15 years is insane.
It is.
It's just, in southeastern Connecticut across the state, I mean, the ECC's winning state championships. They're knocking on the door every year. So it's, I'm sure for you it's good to see.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Robbie Brew and I talked about this before, even in girls soccer. Anything east of the Connecticut River was like they do play soccer there. So I was so happy when Robbie won his state championship. He was happy when I won mine. And then look at Paulie Gleason and old line for 4 and 5 years. And then, it's just good. It's good to see.
It is, and there have been some, and that's the thing is there have been programs. Old Lyme's an example, Waterford's an example, East Lyme's an example. There have been programs that have been competing on the state level for a number of years, but now, year in and year out, the ECC girls especially the ECC girls in all sports have really taken a hold of state championships. Nice touch to the outside. Fitch down 4-1, 9 minutes remaining here. I'm sure they'd love to punch one more on, and I think. Conversely, Stonington is they're feeling like the blood in the water right now. They got that shark mentality. We're going to see some subs coming into the ball game for Fitch. They're going to get some of their regulars off here, get some extra kids some playing time here with under 9 minutes remaining in the game.
Coach, my question for you would be this: it'd be Stonington coming off of last year's state championship. If you were coaching this team, how tough or would it be easy to keep these kids? Focused with all the COVID and, no state tournament. I'm sure it's got to be a letdown for some of the seniors. But, if you were coaching this team, if you had a team that won a state championship last year, what would your approach be?
Well, it's amazing with the COVID stuff. I just can't imagine. I mean, the closest I came to it, I think, was in the 90s when we had the Triple E mosquitoes. And we had to.
We had that last year,
Yeah, and we had to practice in the gym and stuff. But it was nothing like this. Like in a moment, all of a sudden your school could be called off for a couple of weeks. But he's got such a great team. I think number one is if for a coach, you just get your kids excited to play. Hey, you could say to them, we might not have played at all this year, and look at tonight, we're playing. So, it is what it is, and I don't know if they're having a regional tournament or whatever they talked about, but. They're playing, so that's what you do is just keep the kids. Feel fortunate that you're playing soccer.
Well, I'll tell you who. The one thing that makes it a little better is that they did win it last year. Because if I lost last year, and then had this kind of a team this year and couldn't compete, it would definitely eat at me. So the ability, at least the kids, if I was a senior on Stonington, I'm a state champion. So there is going to be no state champion this year other than us. That at least I can feel good about that. If I was on the losing side last year, came back as a senior and couldn't play, I'd be in agony.
Well, in a case in point, I think would be Kurt Casher and O-line. They lost in the state championship game, and they had the greatest team, and they really thought that they could do things, and they got called off.
Yes.
And I feel bad, but the kids, like you say, you got Brady Sheffield, you got Aiden Hughes, you got all these kids that have great attitudes. They're going to be fine as adults. It's just you look at the present moment and it hurts.
Because I have to hear about Casey O'Neill's state championships at New London High School, and he's almost 50 years old. So those never leave you, do they, Casey?
It never gets old.
49, and I still got the ring, sports. The jewelry don't go anywhere.
Hardware. It's a New London thing, Coach. You wouldn't understand.
That's
it, but
right.
I certainly do.
The juices are flowing when you talk about those things.
No rings at Wheeler, sports doctor.
Ring toss game, maybe, something like that case, but no. But at least I'm getting candy on the sidelines for some fans over here.
Attaboy. I have had the good fortune of being around a lot of winning programs, and I've taken my share of lumps too. It's part of sports. I just think that the resiliency of these kids is remarkable, and their attitudes have been so pleasurable to see. And you mentioned Aiden Using's idea of, listen, I'll wear a mask, I'll wear a gas mask, I'll wear a suit of armor if it means I get to play. And I think that's just a great attitude. And whatever happens, in the winter, if there's anything that, if we play, if we don't play, the kids will do whatever you tell them to do, and it'll be it's just having the chance to get all these games in. I think we have to take every single game as a blessing, and just be thankful that we're able to do it.
You're absolutely correct. I hope they do get to play. I hope they do the football in that mini spring season or whatever. I hope they can play basketball. They might be tough. It's an indoor sport with fans or whatever. So, but hopefully they can. And they've put up with a lot.
5 minutes remaining. Falcons coming out of the pack here, down 4-1. Stonington just looking every bit the part of the premier program that they are. And you know what? I think Coach Wolfrat, there's no such thing as a good loss. Waiting for a shot, not able to get one off, and all you're doing there with all the dancing around is letting the defense get reset. But nice move and a head ball out. But a lot of work down there by Peter Petropoulos to not really get a lot of opportunity out of it. One thing I think I liked Colin said, there are wins and there are wins and learns. You have to learn from your losses. And I think Coach Wolfrat, this loss, it will be easy to write this loss off as we didn't have our guy, we didn't have our goalie, but he won't do that. He's going to go to school on this loss. He's going to say, here are the things we need to do to improve, because if his keeper or his players, if Duffy is out, if his keeper is out, this is the team, right? So this is the team that needs to make the improvements, and so he will definitely he will go to school on this, and they will make improvements.
Absolutely. Coach has to say to his team, hey, we were down 2-1, and we had the chance. And what happened? What did we do? Why did we let up? Or what were the mistakes? It wasn't, So that's what he has to say is, we had it 2-1. We should have come back and scored 2-2, and then made another game. So yeah, he'll do it. He'll work on the kids. You don't want to. I think 2-1 is a lot easier to go home with in a game like this than 4-1, because
Absolutely.
That's the way it goes.
And Tavares is going to come out of the game. They're going to send in a new keeper. We'll try to get a number on the new keeper. If it's...
Is that Josiah? No.
We're going to see. We'll get a... So the Bears have a new keeper. Nice job. Tavares did a really wonderful job. And a clear by the Bears as we're down to 3 minutes and change. Phoenix Glaza, number 99, the junior for Stonington. Now this is about the time where we start thinking about the player of the game, because we want you all to follow us on Facebook and on Twitter at GameDayCT, where tonight you'll be able to see the sports doctor's interview with the Waterford Dental Health player of the game, and you'll also be able to see the smiling faces on the Waterford Dental Health top play of the game, because remember, great smiles start at Waterford Dental Health. So I think the player of the game is a pretty easy choice, and we'll take our votes on that shortly. And at the play of the game, I have my own opinion about the play of the game as well. But we'll talk about those as we're down to 2 minutes here remaining. But it has been a fabulous night of soccer here at Stonington High School. And as time ticks down, Coach, it's been a pleasure to have you. I want to thank you for joining us. It's been nice to talk soccer with you.
Thank you. It's been a lot of fun. It's nice to sit here and watch a game and almost like you're on the sidelines talking with your friends, and just talking about the game and what you see. So I appreciate that. I got great seats at the 50-yard line.
Yes, you do. At Game Day, we've broadcast, I think, 13 different sports. And soccer is still one of the most challenging sports to broadcast, because it's, not a lot happens to the layperson until something happens. And so you have to be conversational and stuff and kind of realize when the things might happen. But at the same time, if you have a person like yourself who understands what they're seeing, it's a great opportunity, because the pace of soccer allows conversation. So it's a great opportunity to talk soccer, and that's that's something that I enjoy. Really seeing things on the field that I might not otherwise see. So it's been a pleasure to have you here, and every time I do this, I learn a little bit more.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm glad that you're doing play-by-play because I can't even see the numbers. I mean, I need glasses out there, and you're like right spot on. But you're right about the Bears uniforms. It's hard to see those numbers.
Only the Fitch Falcon football team has worse numbers.
Was that black and red or something?
They have the color those color blend ones where the numbers are start off at one color and change as they go down the uniform. I joked. Peter, who are the other notorious uniform? Ledgers can be tough for that same reason, right?
The Fitch football uniforms have pushed out every other bad uniform. They're the only ones I can think of.
I'm going to have to go watch them just to see the uniform.
Not to mention they run the triple option, so I never know where the ball is anyway. So between those two things, I never know where anybody is. Best thing that's happened is the passing league where I can see it all happening. Clock ticking down, 1-0, and we are done. Here at Stonington High School, a 4-1 Bears victory, convincing fashion. Sam Montalto, the man of the hour, with 3 goals as well as an assist to, 2 goals as well as an assist to Sowen for our third. So 2 goals and assist for Montalto, a goal by DeVoe, and a goal by Will Sowen, the first one of the day on a beautiful, beautiful setup. So 4-1 for the Bears. Coach, final thoughts on what you saw tonight?
No, I think the score is indicative of probably what it should have been after we found out a couple of players being out. And after that second goal, when they scored the third and the fourth, it was the way they played. So they definitely kept their reputation alive. Got to give it to Fitch. They played hard. It's just they just didn't have enough wheels, to put some pressure on. But
Sports Doctor, final thoughts?
Yeah, Stonington's pretty good. I will tell you that. The one big thing that you notice from watching the game from the sidelines is how committed Paul DeCastro is, not only to the team, but the kids. Casey, they really, really buy into his coaching, his style, and the interaction with him and the kids during the halftime adjustments. It's something you don't see. You usually see the coach dictating to the kids, but they're a good team, man. Real good team. Good game here tonight. I'm starting to get a new appreciation for soccer from watching the Stonington Bears.
It's
Casey?
about time, Sports Doctor.
Yes.
You were the football guy. Now you're starting to get the football. Attaboy. So again, follow us on Game Day in Twitter at GameDayCT, and you can see the Sports Doctor's interview with the Waterford Dental Health Player of the Game and the big smile on the Waterford Dental Health Top Play, where great smiles start at Waterford Dental Health. We want to thank, of course, the Burns Agency. Like Game Day, the Burns Agency is always local and live. We focus on local community, and you'll always get a live person on the phone. So remember, you buy better at Burns. For the coach, Don Desautel, and the Sports Doctor, Keith O'Brien, Peter Wappy, and the boys, it's been a pleasure. I am Casey O'Neill. Stay tuned for future events. Right now we are scheduled for back-to-back volleyball action at the end of the week, Friday and Saturday, volleyball and volleyball. But, of course, we are always paying attention to the schedule changes that occur. So stay tuned at theday.com to find out where we will be next. From Stonington High School, I'm Casey O'Neill saying good night, everybody.